Hey everybody, it's Rachel, and on my channel I talk about books and writing. And one big writing related topic that I've talked about last year is my struggles with burnout and my just kind of inability to write much anymore. Like post pandemic, I've had a really hard time, but I have hit recently some pretty big kind of breakthroughs with this that I wanted to talk about, and I wanted to vlog as I put the finishing touches on my newest poetry collection that I'm anticipating will be released at the end of this year or early next year. So the first thing I have to talk about, not everyone's going to connect with, even that if you've been in this space before, if you've been burnout, if you've been feeling like you're not writing or doing whatever you love as much as you want. But it would be disingenuous if I didn't talk about how my health has played into this. I do have PCOS, and one of the symptoms that had been really beating the crap out of me lately is chronic fatigue. And it's really hard to write or do anything when you are chronically fatigued, right? So what I started to do about it is I started taking vitamin D supplements. That's something that's sometimes recommended to me, and sometimes people are like, well, you should figure out which vitamins are actually showing, blah, blah, blah. I don't have time for that. So I decided to start taking vitamin D. I didn't expect much out of it, and within a week I felt better. So I guess it was really that simple. As a result of feeling more awake, not only do I feel like I'm in the mood to write more, I feel like that leads to other positive health outcomes because now I have more energy to go to the gym. And when I'm at the gym, I have a better workout because I don't feel like I'm walking through mud the entire time or running through mud or weightlifting in mud. You know what I mean? My limbs just don't feel so heavy. And so then that in addition would boost my mood. So that's been a big thing. But I've also had some mental shifts that I wanted to share, before we get into the bulk of this vlog, me editing and putting together the final pieces of this collection. The first thing, I feel like I've been putting a lot of pressure on myself to make the most perfect writing ever since I self-published my book, The Poet's Tarot. The Poet's Tarot did better than I thought it was going to do because I didn't really know what I was doing in terms of self-publishing. It was my first time. And I was expecting to sell 8 copies, and I sold close to 300. I don't think it's like, obviously that's not like, wow, she sold 300 copies. But like some people only sell 8. So I was very, very happy with that. And I just got so much good feedback and just, let's face it, positive attention from it, that I just felt like, okay, everything I write has to be of publishable quality. It has to be perfect and all of this stuff. And there's a couple reasons why I felt that way, but one of them I think is because the past few years have not been the strongest of mine financially. I don't think it has been for anybody, because of inflation and other big life things. And I think that I almost had it in my mind that if I was going to spend all this time writing and publishing, that I really needed to like side hustlify it. There we go. I don't know. That I needed to do that. And the best way, it turns out, to fix that was getting a side hustle that wasn't writing. So I have a side hustle now, kind of. So I'm very casual about it, though. I'm not hardcore, but I've started dealing books on eBay. And I'm not going to be one of those eBay sellers that like, I'm going to go to the library sale and I'm going to buy the wholesale and deprive a community of, good books and resources for my side. No, we're not doing that. Like I do this like very occasionally. A lot of the books I've sold were books that I had that I didn't need anymore. And normally I would donate, but I've been in a financial place where I just couldn't do it. I could not donate. I needed some extra cash. So I did that, and I'm going to keep doing that off and on as needed. And I think that putting some effort into that, just having that little extra financial cushion has made me not put financial pressure anymore on making something super publishable. Because now that has opened up time for me to like play in my writing again and to just have fun. And my next thing, and perhaps even most importantly, the high level of expectations and kind of trying to side hustle my writing life. As I was getting close with this poetry collection to finishing it, I started like coming up with dumb rules for myself. Like, I initially had a really specific expectation of what done would look like, even though I have been for a while in the done range of a poetry chapbook size, or not a poetry chapbook, but a poetry collection size. And it wasn't happening though. Like, the idea in my head of what was going to be done versus what it is now, like, it's done. It may not look the way that I thought it was going to, but it's done. All I have to do is, I think I want to write a couple more poems to kind of connect things up a little bit more thematically. And I definitely need to do some editing, which you're going to see in the vlog. But that's it. And like, I think it just finally hit me that this is my poetry collection. I make the rules. I decide when it's done. I decide when I love it. And I do. And I think that that is such a game changer for me. Another thing that I did in one of my reading vlogs, I was kind of ranting on a little side quest about how much of a hard time I have with editing, and I wanted to edit my science fiction novel. And I've been putting off these edits for a very long time because I know that editing takes brain power. I went through the whole list of edits. I got it done in an hour. All of that procrastination, and it took an hour. Like, I just feel like I've stopped believing in myself because I put myself under so much pressure that I stopped believing in my capabilities to just, girl, you can sit down and you can do it. And you can have fun with it, and you can play around, and it's going to be okay, because the only person you need to impress is yourself. And I think that that's been really freeing. So I don't know if anyone really relates to that before I get into the editing and putting things together part of this vlog. But I think that this is, I mean, I just hope somebody gets something out of that if you're also struggling. And if you think that you're having a health situation and you feel like you are chronically fatigued or not feeling your best, I highly recommend to advocate yourself and figure it out somehow or another, whether that means going to the doctor, or whatever. Like, you're worth investing in yourself, right? We all are. So before I get too far ahead, I do want to talk about what my collection is about before you see me editing and things like that. I'm not going to give you the title yet, but it's my first book, The Poets Tarot, was very much like a niche, right? Because it didn't even really appeal a ton to people who read poetry more often than not. More often than not, it appealed to tarot readers and people that are interested in tarot. And so that was a lot easier to market online in some ways because it's a niche. And there's somebody out there that's like, whoa, I want that. Even if they didn't ask for it, it was something that was new to the tarot market that people were kind of intrigued by. This poetry collection is just poetry collection. I mean, it's themed. My only hint is there's definitely like celestial energy. It's about like our relationship to our past, our present, our future, and our place in the universe. It's big brain like that. But that's like really general to market. I don't know how I'm gonna market this. But you know what? I'm just gonna trust that the right people will find it. And I think that this is my best poetry by far. I've been working on a lot of these things since before the Poets Tarot. There's one poem in this collection I wrote when I was 18. Okay, I wrote this in high school. And so, most of the poems that are in here are from like the past like 5-ish years. But you do have like some of my best work from a long time ago in there as well. And I'm just really excited about it. I'm really proud of it. And I can't wait to put these finishing touches on it. And I want to show you my process. So first thing that I want to do, I need to switch out one of my poems that I talked about this particular topic in one way, which I put in the collection, but I'm just not feeling it, and I had a similar one that I think it fits better, and it feels more representative of me, so that one's gonna go in. And I have a couple other ones that I have that fit, that I recently wrote, that I need to put into the master document of the collection. So that's what I'm doing first. So listen, I'm from the 1900s. I still need like a desktop to feel like a human, right? Like, it just doesn't feel right if my house doesn't have a desktop, and I like working at a desktop because I have my fancy little keyboard that is wireless, and it has a little cushy part right here, and I like my little spinny chair. And it's just, I like having a computer room, right? I know that this is technically like an office, but I still call it the computer room. Anyway, I still have a desktop. I'm still very committed to the desktop lifestyle. I was very devastated when mine died, the one that I had for a while. But like, I felt like Adele, not Adele the singer, and it was rated really well, but like, I think it's so freaking slow. Like, no matter what I do to it, it's slow, and it doesn't automatically update. I have to like remember, and sometimes it's really slow and I have to be like, oh my gosh, you probably update it, but other times it doesn't matter. Like, it's a slow computer in 2025. Lo and behold, a snow day. I got my Pringles, and I need to stop drinking coffee. I already have 2 iced coffees that I made for myself today. I need to chill. So I got my Pringles, and I'm gonna edit, and it's gonna be one big editing session. I was thinking about, at some point I do need to print this thing, but my printer is being a butt. You might get to see me play with the printer today. I don't know. I'm so over it. I might try to print and do it on paper like I want to. So we're gonna see what happens. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's printing. It's like, it's thinking about it really hard. So I got like a chapter title page, if you will. Am I gonna get a whole poem? Oh my lord, I got a full poem. Alright, yeah, I can print it. Let's do this. Is it printing backwards? Like, isn't it supposed to not? I'm so lost. Why is it printing backwards? Like, I'm gonna have a full stack from end to beginning. I don't think I clicked on anything to make it do that. Am I dumb? Is this what stupidity looks like? I don't know what's going on. Okay, so I printed that, and then I threw in a quick load of laundry, and then it occurred to me that, like, I don't really feel good. So I did take a nap, and at least my headache's gone, but, like, I feel like I'm getting an earache, which I haven't had one of those since I was in, like, elementary school. Like, what even is this? So I'm gonna have some lunch, and then I'm gonna finally sort this out. So I'm looking at my first section and I'm trying to make sure that the order makes sense, and I like the order that I have for the thematic development, but I feel like I want to mix up, I want to rearrange so people can see like different styles, I guess. I feel like my first couple poems are just like and not punctuated, and I don't want people to flip through and think that that's going to be like just my style the entire time, because that's something I only do very occasionally. So I'm trying to rearrange, but I don't know what's gonna work. After looking at it way too long, I think I have a solution. I'm gonna change the structure a little bit of one of them so it looks a little bit more representative of the typical style, since it has to go in this first section, and it has to be one of the first two for thematic development. So, Snow Day was great. I edited through a little over half of the collection. and I'm happy with things so far. I think that the changes I'm coming up with are really solid, so when I actually go in and type those changes in, it will be very quick. The most I've cut out of anything was like a whole stanza, and mostly if I'm changing things, it's just cutting out a word here and there to make the language nice and tight the way I like it. Or, yeah, that's basically it, actually. I've only found like one typo, which I feel like in a poetry collection, I understand that in general, like you're publishing novels, there's typos. Traditionally published, self-published, you're gonna have a typo or two in there at least. Poetry, there's so few words. We can't have any typos. This thing's gotta be perfect. Luckily, I'm a very good self-editor, so we're in good shape. I've been in contact with my cover artist. She's fantastic. Basically, she asked me like what type of cover am I looking for, and she wanted me to send her some poem samples, so I did that, and I gave her like the roughest idea of rough ideas. Like I gave her like a very rough general color scheme, like just not even a section on the color wheel. I know I'm being very vague. I don't want to give too much away yet. And then, like one specific illustration element, and that's it. And so she sent me all of these different like possible samples and directions to go with, and her specific ideas for how she wants to do it. And it's honestly like so perfect. I am so blessed that I just happened to know a really talented artist from high school. We weren't even like besties or anything, but she's just so nice to everybody, and we always got along really well. And I'm just so happy that she still does commissions and that she still wanted to do this, because I'm telling you, I'm so lucky. Her work is great, and it's really affordable compared to what some other people charge. I always give her a tip because of that, so things are happening. Oh, before I go shopping, maybe I'll even film a little bit of shopping. Maybe I'll do that. I always feel awkward filming in public though, so we'll see. But I'm anticipating a couple more snow days this week because it is going to be negative 25 Fahrenheit with the wind chill for like 2 days. Yee! Time to get frostbite, besties. I actually bought a ski mask because the last time I went to shovel snow here, I got minor frostbite. It was so not fun. That hurts. Like, I never knew what frostbite felt like. I thought it was just like, oh, you're so cold that your skin looks weird. No, like, it really freaking hurts. I had to, like, soak my face in warm water for, like, an hour before I felt like a person again. But yeah, if it's gonna be that cold out, my battery in my car is, like, on the verge of dying anyway, so, like, I'm gonna turn it on my car on once and do one quick errand each day that it's like that, but we are not going anywhere where we are parking outside of a store for, like, longer than 5-10 minutes, because I just don't want... I'm just so scared that if we go anywhere, I'm gonna get back into my car and try to turn it on, it's gonna be dead. And then I gotta call my dad, and I don't think my dad wants to... He would, because he's the best, but I don't think he wants to fix that in negative 25. But yeah, if I don't get stuff done tonight, I will definitely be able to get some stuff done in the week, because ain't no way we're going to work. When it's this cold, the air constantly runs like the furnace, and it's so dry. Like, it hurts my eyes because it's constantly running. Because if it does not, we will, like, die, so it has to be on. Also, my skin is so dry, so I'm moisturizing much, but now it's like, because my skin's really sensitive, we've got this phenomena where, like, I get dryness, but then, like, also acne at the same time. Cute. it's the next day. It's cold still. I am wearing the same shirt. Because when this is cold, you don't sweat. So it's fine. Yesterday, I did finish my edits. I did them on paper, transferred them to my actual electronic document. Yesterday the night, I got the cover. I'm not going to reveal it yet, but oh my god, it's so pretty. It's even prettier than the Poet's Tarot cover, I think. They're just, I don't know, they're two different types of pretty, I guess. So I'm very excited about it. I'm so grateful. So I need to pay my cover artist the second installment, the final installment. And then I guess at this point, things that I need to do is I need to put the book into Kindle Create. I'm probably going to need to download a different version or update it or something because it's been like a while since I've done this before. I want to make sure that my formatting is like perfect. I need to add some different pages in addition to the poems themselves. So our table of contents, acknowledgements, all that good stuff. And other than that, the book is ready to go. I think that I really want to play the long game with marketing again. I did that the first time that I released, so when I released Poet's Tarot, because I read online that you should do that, and I was like, yeah, well, I'll try it. And so what I did was I had some strategic social media posts, marketing, and making sure that just enough people knew about it. I think I'm going to do that again. And I think I'm finally going to drink the Kool-Aid and build a newsletter. Here's the thing. I really think theoretically, I should have done this a few years ago when I was a lot more active in writing spaces on social media and things like that, because a lot of people have kind of just drifted off of the internet. I know Lydia Foxglove on her Cozy Creative channels talked about this, that there just feels like there's less people online. Maybe they're all on TikTok and the rest of us everywhere else feel like just kind of left behind. I don't know. It feels like less people are on the internet. So I kind of wish that I had been smart and built up that mailing list earlier like was recommended. The reason why I didn't is because I do not want anyone to send me a friggin' email. And why would I create something that I might not sign up for? But not a lot of my favorite authors have a newsletter. And I feel like if they did, I would probably sign up for it. You know what I'm saying? Like some of my favorite bands I get emails from, and I'm not like mad about it. I don't open them all the time, but I do sometimes. So, and I was reading on like Reddit, people were discussing this, and the consensus was, don't confuse what you want with what your readers might want. I'm not going to be representative of every single reader, right? So, and I just feel like it's good in these times where not everyone wants to be online all the time, or, you know, there's different issues with different social media platforms and people are trying to find a new place, to try to get those people hooked in so you kind of have their email no matter what, right? So I'm thinking about building a newsletter, and I have debated the whole TikTok thing, and I'm not doing it. First of all, it was just banned yesterday and then came back, so I don't know how consistent it's going to be. I'm assuming that it will still be around. But my thing is, like, I know that I'm not going to be good at it because I don't really like it. And I'm not trying to be holier than thou. I'm not saying that I'm too good for short form content, that I don't consume any of it, because I do watch some Instagram reels and YouTube shorts. But like, there are times where like there's authors whose books I'm curious about. I see some of those like TikTok-y type ads, and it makes me want to read their book less, because the way that they have to market to those audiences, they're focusing on tropes and stuff. And first of all, I can't even really do that with poetry. Second of all, I'm tired of the constant comparisons of work to other work. So I don't want to market my books with comps. That is like, I want to do it as little as possible. I also just don't want to market in terms of tropes, because I don't care and I'm not writing to put those in. So I feel like when you are an author and you're in that situation where you feel pressured to name a trope or whatever, it becomes disingenuous to your readers, because they go in expecting a full-blown enemies to lovers, and it's like 1% of the book. I don't know. I feel like this isn't a system that's always working all the time for readers. If we're just shoving our books into whatever kind of boxes that we think might work, right? So I don't know. I don't know why I want to just put my hair in a bun for some reason. I guess my thing is now, I think my next big psychological battle, I feel like there's two ways to approach book releases and being a writer. There's that casual, like, LOL, I write some books, here they are, okay, bye. And then there's, like, being really, really serious about it, being really serious about your marketing and creating your brand like you're that girl, even though, like, 5 people know who you are. More than 5 people know who I am. But still, like, I feel like you're going to have more success if you treat yourself like a successful person, right? I feel like that's a thing. I mean, you work for Lady Gaga. So, but on the other hand, if you build your brand like you are that girl, and you just kind of like, oh, there's a deer. Oh my God, so cute. Anyway, if you build your brand like you are that girl, and like you are the real deal, and you market your books very seriously, and you treat your brand very seriously, if you do all of that and then you fail in some way, I feel like that's so much more embarrassing than if you're just like, oh, I was just LOLing. I just threw my book out there. It did so well, but that's okay because like it's just LOL. You know what I mean? I just feel like it's really scary to, oh my God, there's so many deer. I feel like it's just really scary to put yourself out there in a serious manner versus an unserious manner. I think what I'm going to have to do then is I just need to suck it up and stop being so afraid of being serious about everything that I'm doing with marketing. Because let's be real, YouTube is a form of marketing in a way because, I don't know, I like this better because I feel like I'm here making genuine content. I'm not up there throwing things into people's faces. I'm making legit content of stuff that I want to talk about. Sometimes it's my writing and my books and sometimes it's not. And like, if you're here, you're going to know about that stuff, right? You know what I mean? I just feel like it's a little bit more genuine than pushing stuff in people's faces with ads on social media and things like that and with posts that are strategic. So do you know what I'm even saying anymore? I feel like this is a platform where people come to me and I'm not begging people to come to me, right? So, I mean, this is kind of part of, I guess, the marketing as well. But I feel like my next steps are not only figuring out marketing and trying to just be as present as I can on the social media platforms that I do enjoy. Well, enjoy is kind of a strong word for social media nowadays, with the exception of YouTube. I always love YouTube. Except when they want to play so many ads. Don't like that, but everything else I like. I need to get over this mental hurdle of just trying to treat this as legit and as businessy as possible and being okay if people don't buy this one. And I feel like I'm putting more pressure on myself because I want to outdo the Poet's Tarot, or at least do as well. But I know it's going to be harder because the Poet's Tarot has a niche, which is great for self-publishing. When you have like this group of people that's kind of small, but you're exactly what they're looking for. Like I could put in my book on Amazon into all of the occult and new age categories for the Poet's Tarot. I can't do that with this upcoming collection. So it's going to go into like a lot of the general poetry categories and I'm going to get buried. Like a poetry collection based off of tarot was unique, but now I just have a poetry collection. And granted, the subject matter is going to speak to some people and the style of it's going to speak to some people and the cover is going to speak to everybody. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. But anyway, it's a lot more likely to get lost in the ether. And I think that I just feel like logically it won't sell as well as Poet's Tarot unless I really do something about it. But really doing something about it and portraying myself in like as this really serious writer and then not having good numbers after that, I feel like it would be embarrassing, but it's a risk that you have to take because if you don't take yourself seriously as an author, it reduces your chances, I feel like, of anyone seeing it. You know what I mean? I don't know. This is very rambly. This is getting very existential. But I finished a poetry collection. I'm in the next stages of figuring out an exact release date, long game marketing, newsletters, things like that. And yeah, thanks for watching. And I will probably have more writing vlogs in the future, whether it is updates on marketing this project. Eventually I'm going to have to do a video where I launch the project and I show you the title and I show you the cover and things like that, and maybe even share a few poems with you guys. But I'm always working on other things, so please stick around if you want to see my progress also on some of my science fiction, querying that. I'm also writing a paranormal. I've just got a lot of things that I'm really hoping that I can put into gear this year, like I did with this collection, and just kind of making these final pushes towards completion of projects and fulfillment of projects. But yeah, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time. And hopefully I won't have pots of water over my heater vents to moisturize the air. Someone told me that would work. I feel like it won't, but I'm gonna try because I'm really desperate. And humidifiers and stuff. Honestly though, my skin's doing pretty good so far. I'm fighting for it to be good, but it looks good. Okay, bye. Oh Lord, they running.